I go back and I was about to address that area. I go back to my question to you, my first question. These are two citizens of Guyana, and you felt that you had no recourse to any of the state agencies when it is such an important matter of safety.
But the way that we do have painted Dr. Rodney is one of harassment and also political and party bias. But I believe somewhere in your evidence you indicated that was it your parents or Walter's parents who were members of the ANC?
My mother.
Your mother was
Not
a
my mother.
Okay. And that didn't affect the treatment in the searches of her.
I don't think she was high enough in the party to have an effect. She was just an ordinary person, ordinary member.
And what about your father? You had no party affiliation?
No.
Okay. Do you know what Walter's parents' affiliation, party affiliation?
I know his mother wasn't a party person. I know his father.
Now, did you get some evidence from Edward? Thank you.
So, I've taken you to the point where in the late 1979, Dr. Walter Rodney told you of this warning you received about the bomb in the car. I now want to connect some dots to Donald Rodney. Now, Donald Rodney was Dr. Walter Rodney's youngest brother.
Yes.
As far as you were aware, he was close to Dr. Walter Rodney, as a younger brother would be.
Yes, sir.
In fact, the truth is that as a younger brother, he was very proud of his brother.
Yes.
And coming on to the late 1979-80, he, because of what was transpiring, because of the atmosphere, he started to frequent or to be closer to Dr. Walter Rodney. Because of what was going on, he decided to be closer, just be around more often.
Yes. He stopped several times during the week to check on the kids.
Now, when Dr. Walter Rodney traveled in the late 1970s, I'm piggybacking from my previous question, it is true that Donald Rodney would avail himself to your family just to have a male presence in the home.
Yes.
And also, when the family is going out, have a male presence when you're going out.
Yes.
And that again was due to the prevailing circumstances, the prevailing atmosphere at the time, as it related to your family and your safety.
Yes, sir.
On a human interest level, I'm always interested in how would it, let's say, Kenny and Asha accept Donald as uncle being around?
They loved Uncle Donald. He is also fun. They certainly gave him some warnings about how we should behave in our home. Kanini, the spokesperson, said, I know who you're trying to be. You're trying to be my daddy. And she proceeded to say, well, make sure that when you're finished shaving and combing your hair, that you clean the sink and that you put the toilet seat down, or else my mom would be very upset with you.
She gave him the house, she laid down the house shoes. Laid down by Dr. Rodney.
Yes.
So I'm taking you now to Donald Rodney putting himself as any brother-in-law and uncle and younger brother would to give assistance to the family. As you recall, Donald Rodney was never really active in the WPA.
As far as I know, he was not a member or active in the WPA.
And when he would accompany your family on the outside, if you all were to be going out, he would have his car and he would drive his car.
He would always use his car.
So then there is nothing untoward, nothing strange of Walter and Donald using Donald's car in 1932.
No, I often use Donald's car.
You
so-
often used it. And it will be true to say then that on a personal level, Donald Rodney's involvement was more of youngest brother to Walter, brother-in-law to you, uncle to your children.
Yes.
Having laid that maybe too lengthy introduction, I want to take you today to Friday the 13th of June 1980. Now, I understand that you gave some details about the day to the Queen's Counsel, Mr. Pilgrim, but for the purposes, Mr. Chairman, please allow me a little repetition, but for the purposes of rebuttal of Gregory Smith's book and how things played out in the night, I wouldn't need just to traverse the area. It wouldn't take more than 2 minutes. Now, it happened to be a Friday, when it's commonly known as a Black Friday. A Black Friday.
Yes.
I know Dr. Rodney will not attach any negative
No.
news to that day, but it happened to be Friday the 13th, a Black Friday, yes?
Yes.
And this was a Friday, as it happened, you took the day off.
Yes.
In hindsight, and normally, because you wouldn't normally take a day off just like that. But that day, for whatever reason, you took the day off.
Yes.
And Dr. Rodney would have taken the children to school, and he also, in a sense, took the day off in the sense that he stayed at home.
Yes.
What informed your decision to take the day off?
I don't know, I think when Walter came back and we wanted to continue the discussion about Zimbabwe, and we thought that was the opportune time to do it. And so I know I didn't have a lot to do at work that day, so I said I would take the day off and accompany him and do the errands, run along errands that we had.
So that day, you all ran errands together, including what you told me, returning books, etc. to the library. All right? And
The library or the
Indian High Commission.
Indian High Commission, sorry. And of course, you picked up the children and had lunch.
Yes.
Anytime during, and that this is a one-on-one, you and Dr. Walter Rodney interacting that day.
Yes.
And the family would have had plans for the evening.
Yes.
Anytime during that day, did Dr. Walter Rodney indicate to you, look, later, Donald and I are going out for a meeting. Anytime during that day, did he
No.
In fact, the truth is that, and I will go into more detail, but I want to get it out of the way first. Dr. Rodney was about to go to his meeting, all things being equal, on his own that evening.
Yes.
So, I take you back now to the early evening of Friday the 13th. You will have already picked up your children.
Why was that meeting that his meeting that he was going to?
This would have been the meeting I suspect with Gregory Smith, the gentleman, the person who came the evening before.
I don't think we have that evidence.
Well, we guessing now.
Well, not from you though.
No, that's not.
I'm looking at page 16 of the witnesses.
I am on that page.
Evidence and she did not identify what we do that. This is why.
Yes.
And she has indicated that he, well, let's hear from him.
Yes. Do you know what meeting he was attending that evening?
It was the same meeting with the person who came to my house on June the 12th, who subsequently I found out was Gregory Smith. They didn't meet on the Thursday as planned. Walter said he was rescheduling. I heard him on the phone talking to the person that they were scheduling for Friday at 7 o'clock.
So,
Thank you for that.
but I'm still curious, how does the witness know the meeting was with the Gregory?
With them on the phone.
I heard Walter talking to him on the phone
How do you know he was talking?
because I knew he was talking to that same person who, on the 12th, when the person left and Walter came in and I told him this man had come and Walter said something that is not reliable or something like that. Then the person called very late that night and said to Walter, can we meet now? It might have been at 2 in the morning, I know it was late. And Walter said, no, I will meet you tomorrow at this specific time.
And from what you heard from Walter's end of the conversation, you could tell it
I
was
was
the same
the
person
same
who had come
person.
earlier.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I was not standing very far.
Yes.
Madam Commissioner, may I?
Yes, thank you.
So we have established that that meeting was with the person who turned out to be very soon at 7 o'clock in the night of the 13th.
Yes.
We have also established, I want to do this with reactivation, that Donald Rodney was nowhere in the picture at that time.
No, sir.
So, if I would, and I would show you,
If you don't want to explore further this notion that he was not reliable.
I will explore it. When could you explain to us what you understood Dr. Walter Rodney to mean when he said that this was not reliable?
Walter was a stickler for time, and he did not like people to waste his time. If he told you he would meet you at 7 and you were not there at 7, he would leave. I also had that personal experience.
I recall there was an instance where his favorite daughter, could you tell the commissioner what that experience was late?
Our children went dancing lessons at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And usually when I'm taking them to lessons, I actually call them 2-3 times. I'm ready, we have to go, we were too late. And on this particular day, Walter was taking them to lessons, and he said to Kanini, I'm ready to go. And when she got upstairs, he had left.
And how was she?
She was devastated because she didn't think her dad would ever do that. To her,
She was on the after.
no.
After that, she was on time.
She was so late for me, but
And it's the only way to make that point. And you have to try to do that.
Mr. Chairman, CP speaking from personal experience. Madam, may I take you to terms of reference 1 and 2, please, and ask Mr. Chair, it's really orderly if the witness to be shown. Can you read till, I'm going into term of reference 1 and 2, now we're moving away from 4. Can you read 1 and 2 into the record, please?
To examine the facts and circumstances immediately prior, at the time of, and subsequent to the death of Dr. Walter Rodney, in order to determine as far as possible who or what is responsible for the explosion resulting in the death of Dr. Walter Rodney. To inquire into the cause of the explosion in which Dr. Walter Rodney died, whether it was an act of terrorism, and if so, who were the perpetrators.
Thank you. Now, you've told us that on the night of the 12th, the person who you recognize as Gregory Smith came and asked for Dr. Rodney, and he walked away after.
Yes.
You also told us that you heard a telephone call between Dr. Rodney and the person on that line who you would identify as Gregory Smith.
Yes.
And the meeting was scheduled for 7 o'clock on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
You also told us that Dr. Rodney said, look here, this Smith person is unreliable, and that's because he was always late.
Yes.
That Dr. Lord in the summary what he said earlier that call came late or early as 2 a.m. in the morning.
And I would add that Walter normally would have responded. If somebody called the WPR, somebody called and was sick, Walter would normally have gone up at that time. I don't know why he didn't.
But Walter, you share a lot, and so he tell you what this meeting with Gregory Smith was about.
No.
Or who he was.
No.
And you didn't ask.
No.
But not you.
Pardon me?
That you.
Yeah, it was
You talked
not.
about something and now
Pardon?
a man was just saying call it at 2 o'clock in the morning. You didn't ask.
Lots of people called the office.
And that's all I know.
No, but I never asked who it was. I assumed it was something to do with the party.
Okay. So it was not an anomaly that raised any bell.
No.
Interestingly enough, you said on the night of the 12th, though, when Smith came on foot and was walking towards the direction of the house of Skip Roberts, who, the Skip Roberts you refer to, who was he at that time?
I think he might have been the chief of police.
The Grand Chief.
Grand chief.
Now, taking you to the evening of Friday the 13th, and I'm bearing in mind, taking reference 1 and 2, and I want to whisper, okay.
That's very, very clear, Lord. That night that he came on foot and he walked in the direction of Big Brother, that was what, Thursday night?
The 12th.
Yes.
Thursday the 12th. The night before the 13th. So the evening was that Friday evening was really a well-planned evening. Shaka and Panini were attending a farewell party on one end. Correct?
Yes.
And Asha and yourself were going to a fundraising firm.
Yes.
Because you had one family car, the stated plan was for Dr. Walter Rodney to drop you all off to your various destinations.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
He attended his meeting at 7 o'clock with Gregory Smith
Yes.
and then returned for you.
Yes.
Nowhere in that scenario was Donald Rodney
No.
included. However, around 5:30 in the afternoon, Donald turned up.
Yes.
His arrival, you will agree with me, was mere circumstance.
Yes.
He just happened to turn up, as he would do, drop a name on you.
Yes.
When Donald turned up, the plans for transportation changed.
Yes.
It then turned out that you would use the family car and take the children where they were to be taken. Yes?
Yes.
And Donald will take Dr. Walter Rodney to his 7 o'clock meeting.
Yes.
Let me now take you to the book assassination cry of a failed revolution, the truth about Dr. Walter Rodney's death, written by one William Gregerson and Anne Gardner. Now, I know you're not a reader of fiction, serious eye, but there are parts of this book that I know you would have read.
No, I haven't read the book.
The pages 34, Mr. Chairman. This was put in as an exhibit.
It's already an exhibit in evidence.
May I ask here for the exhibit number?
They carry the tag.
LER3. Could the witness be shown LER3? And the pages, I will paraphrase the pages from the bill. There's one where I put a poster. Yes. I've given page, ready on page 37, my board, thank you. Yeah, 37. Right. Yep. Right. Thank you.
Do I understand to put it to her page 67?
Page 37.
37, which paragraph?
Paragraphs 1 to 4 of the entire book.
Paragraph 1 to 4.
Yes.
What up to 3?
1 to 4.
Or 1 to 4.
1 through 4. Right. Now, Dr. Patricia Rodney, when you read this, it would seem that Gregory Smith is saying that there was a planned meeting at 7 between Dr. Walter Rodney, Donald Rodney, and himself. From your knowledge of the entire day of 13th of June 1980 and your personal information, was Donald Rodney ever a part of that plan to be part of a meeting?
I haven't read the book, so can I read this?
Yes, please. You may have to pick it up. I'm sorry to do this here. The full mention of Donald from page 35, top of the page.
And did you put it to her that meeting was supposed to be at 7?
At 7, yes.
I think it's 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Especially the bottom paragraph. I took him on a tour and we arranged it the next day. Right?
Yeah.
Passages you propose.
Just the part, and ma'am, you can just go down to the 9th, which is a page.
Yes, I almost.
Good. So check it, how it's put over the 4
No, it's
pages.
just that there were many passages. I would advise you to sort of indicate to her, take a break so that she can read it.
Mr. Chair, I will, Doctor, but
It's be reading.
I'll ask you to ask us, then I'll ask her to take a break, please, Mr. Chair.
You would ask that.
Let me take a break.
No?
Yes, please.
Yes.
After I ask a question on this.
Do it with the intent to give her the opportunity read it carefully.
I don't know that I
Okay.
Right. Having read the passage, it will appear that what Reverend Smith is saying, that was a planned meeting between three parties. Dr. Walter Rodney, Donald Rodney, and himself.
Yes.
This is your personal, first-hand knowledge. I mean, that's why I went through you spending the whole day with Dr. Walter Rodney, the 15th.
Yes.
Is there any truth to the assertion made in this book that that meeting on the 13th of June, 1980 at 7 o'clock included Donald Rodney?
No.
Is it then not a fact that the assertions made on page 35 to 37 of this book, as far as your first-hand knowledge went, of Dr. Rodney's schedule on the 13th is untrue?
Totally false.
Mr. Chair, may I ask?
There was a very important question.
Pardon?
That there was a meeting that at 7 o'clock. But Rodney didn't have any meeting with him at 7 o'clock.
Donald Rodney had no part in the meeting. Dr. Walter Rodney had a part in the meeting, but Donald
It was
Rodney,
a 7 o'clock meeting.
the 7 o'clock meeting on the night of the 13th.
We're talking about the 20 of the
Friday, 13th.
before he comes to training.
Dr. Rodney, let me clarify. Mr. Chair, I will clarify.
You need to.
Having you have read pages 35 to 37,
Yes.
I've taken you through your first-hand, one-on-one experience with Dr. Walter Rodney on the day of 13th of June 1980.
Yes.
You would have heard from Dr. Walter Rodney that he had a meeting with Reverend Smith at 7 o'clock on the evening of Friday, the 13th, 1980.
Yes.
Nowhere in his narrative to you was Donald Rodney included in that meeting.
No.
When this book asserts that Donald Rodney was a part of that pre-planned meeting on Friday, the 13th of June, 1980 at 7 o'clock, it's an unvarnished lie.
Yes, sir. Totally false.
One more question for the break. Please.
No, other reasons.
Okay, take a break. Dr. Patricia Rodney, I'd like to take you now just back to wrapping up the area as it related to the book and Donald's involvement on the night of the 13th of June 1980 and you would agree with me in closing up that area.
Let's have some questions.
That Donald Rodney's arrival on the scene was unexpected.
Yes, sir.
And surely Dr. Walter Rodney was not expecting it.
Sure.
Now, I want to take you to the page 17 of your statement. The days that
very important over you finish with the book because you condemned it very harsh language, but you only gave one illustration of inaccuracy in making that presentation. One swan doesn't make a summer, and I think that equally if you want to condemn the book, is an accurate comment from what took place on the making question, you would have to give a minimum of about 3.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I will. Now, Madam, in the book that I've just referred you to, Assassination Cry of Failed Revolution, now I'm asking you, and just as a matter of background, Dr. Walter Rodney, by 1980, you would have known him over 20 years. And you would have known the human being and the activist who was Dr. Walter Rodney and what he stood for.
Yes.
In this book, there is, and let me find it for you, the writer says at page 25 of this book that as a member of the WPA, I was given several assignments by Dr. Walter Rodney, which I completed successfully.
All right, that would be useful for the witness to have. Thank you.
Much obliged. Page 25, the third paragraph starting with as a member.
Who is speaking there?
This is Gregory Smith speaking here. Could you read it please as a member? And he's speaking in the first person. I was here.
As a member of the WPA, I was given several assignments by Dr. Walter Rodney, which I completed successfully. I got my first assignment from Dr. Rodney at my home. This was to identify people with various types of problems in the Army, where I worked as an electronic technician. These people fell into two categories: those who were dishonest and those who had problems. He said he wanted to know the names of people with financial or drug problems, or those who simply felt dissatisfied with their promotions. We could easily persuade the latter group of people with these problems to sell us arms, ammunition, or any information in their possession. Those people who had drug problems could cooperate with us in exchange for money to furnish their habit. Those who were dishonest would work with us rather than risk exposure of their dishonest acts. I listed the names of people whom I thought fit these descriptions and give this list to Dr. Rodney. Members of the WPA contacted these people to work for us. Some of these people did not work for us without knowledge, without knowing who had identified them for the WPA.
Pause. Gregory Smith is saying that Dr. Walter Rodney once has enlisted him to prey on people who had drug problems and financial problems, and enlist them and then give them money to fund their drug problems. The Walter Rodney that you knew, both as a person and as a political activist, would he prey on people like this, or was this an antithesis to who the person knew?
This is not the Dr. Rodney, I know Walter Rodney. And Walter Rodney, after drugs, he didn't drink, and he wouldn't prey on people who couldn't help themselves. I don't know who he's talking about, but not the person that I knew.
I don't want to use any unparliamentary language. What would you say about the truthfulness about this entire excerpt you have read?
I said it's all fiction, all made up.
I want, Mr. Chairman, that is two. Let's go to number 3 now. Go down to the last paragraph and one more things and read it, please. Page 25, we're still on page 25.
At one of our meetings, Dr. Rodney speculated on the prospect of hijacking a GDF dinner vehicle. Dressed as soldiers, he and some brothers would deliver the meals. After blending the coffee with a drug, Dr. Rodney said the drug would act in 10 to 20 minutes, putting everybody to sleep. In this way, we would remove whatever weapons and ammunition were available at the location. Dr. Rodney said they would face little danger. Dr. Rodney and some brothers, while removing the weapons and ammunition, he said he could set up an operation to hit military or paramilitary outposts that had a large stock of arms.
pause. This paragraph conveys 2 or 3 separate thoughts. The first thought is Dr. Rodney hijacking a GDF dinner vehicle. Now, I know you're shaking your head, you must say the evidence. I don't want to put words into your mouth. What say you?
I can hear what's all the vehicle hijacking the GDF.
GDF dinner, that's exactly what it is. GDF dinner vehicle.
Dinner?
Dinner. Yes.
I think that was the dinner vehicle.
Chairman, that's what the author wrote. I'm just
You are confidently pronouncing it and so on. I didn't know it is.
a GDF dinner vehicle would be a vehicle of the Ghana Defense Force delivering dinner to the army personnel, correct?
Yeah.
That's your understanding?
I assume so.
Right. Now, what say you about Dr. Rodney speculating on the prospect of hijacking a GDF dinner vehicle?
With what purpose in mind?
With the purpose of delivering meals which he blended a coffee that he would deliver people with drugs. The drugs will then knock out the people in them, which is the armed people. They will act in 10 to 20 minutes and everybody will fall asleep. And then they will take the weapons and ammunition and move them to another location. How do you respond to this assertion in this book, madam?
It's not true, and to be serious, it's like somebody writing a very bad spy novel. Very poorly written, and doesn't make sense.
And would the Walter Rodney that you knew be involved in such an activity?
No.
Thirdly, it says, he said he could set up an operation to hit military or paramilitary outposts that have large stock of arms. Hit there would mean either raid them, I take it to mean raid them and take away the arms. What say you about this statement?
Totally false.
Now,
Sorry, just to
yes,
finally understand and give on the opportunity to explore it further. You had said these statements in the book are totally false. But you didn't attend all the meetings that Dr. Robert.
I never attend. I'm speaking to my husband's character.
And you derive that from his conversations with you, and your observations of him.
Yeah. If somebody I knew and somebody wouldn't participate or do anything of this nature. And I think all the people who knew Walter, all his friends, would vouch for his character.
You didn't attend meetings, but did you have discussions with him regarding his philosophy
Yes.
online?
Yes.
And
I read his books.
and his attitude to young people?
Yes. And to people in general.
So that is the basis on which you are able to speak definitively.
Yes.
But you did attend some public
I
meetings.
attend some public meetings. There was classes held at our house. I went with him sometime to Linden, sometime to Barking, to different places. I didn't go to every meeting, I went to specific meetings.
And those classes that were held at your house, were you privileged to hear?
Yes.
Or the lectures?
Yes.
And you would be the presenter or?
Yeah, but it was, Walter engaged the students, he didn't just talk to people, he didn't lecture. He engaged them with ideas and they discussed ideas.
Thank you.
Dr. Roby, there is a line there that Mr. Smith claimed or alleged that Walter told him they would prey on these people who are addicted to drugs and drugs and give them money to fund their habit. As I understand your evidence thus far, Walter himself was struggling in Guyana because,
Yes.
and from what you know, was there a steady stream of money coming to the party or did it?
I don't know about the party. I can't speak for the party. I was working at one time. Walter went abroad to earn a living. If he would give people money, which he often did, was to buy food. And mostly would be relatives or somebody who said, I'm having a hard time. But Walter didn't just dish out money, as far as I know. And anyway, I kept accounting, Walter did not. I did all the financial.
I'm trying to see if you could test that statement against the ability of water, whether through manufacturers or its own resources.
No, we didn't have personal resources to do that.
So that's not, what's not to say there's not true.
No, I don't think that's the kind of person that would feed somebody's weakness or habit. I can't imagine.
But quite apart from that, is getting money else.
No.
And for those who have not been privy to the full text of the witness statement in terms of the source of the questions and answers in relation to discussions and meetings, I would just refer to page 8, first paragraph, for example, of the witness statement of Dr. Patricia Rodney, in which she speaks of travels with her husband and sharing customs, cultures, and discussions, etc. And there's another paragraph which deals with, in which Dr. Rodney refers to this Dr. Rodney, the breakup of meetings that were being held by the doctor. So that was the source of my seeking further clarification. Thank you.
Madam, may I? Madam Commissioner Samuel Brown, may I piggyback on one of your questions asked the witness, please?
Well, I did ask, at this time, in order to give counsel the opportunity.
Thank you very much. You were asked by the Commission relative to your own personal knowledge and attending meetings, and you spoke about the character of the Dr. Rodney. You knew.
Yeah.
Tell this Commission, when you gave us the answer about him preying on persons with drug habits, tell us more about Dr. Rodney and how he approached persons with a drug habit. For instance, I noticed that he would set up the WPA headquarters at Tiger Bay. That's close to June. Yeah. Tell us what was his approach to persons on drugs? Was he one to abuse them? How would he approach persons like that?
Let me clarify. I don't think Walter set up the WPA office. I don't know who set up the WPA office. It was probably a collective decision to set it up and where it was set up. But I know Walter would not feed a drug habit of anybody. As I said, Walter did not drink, and he would not prey on people who had already had social problems. What he was trying to do was work with people, young people. Not that he wouldn't talk to somebody who had a habit, but he wouldn't feed that person's habit.
You were trying to help them?
Yes.
Now, I want you were answering Commissioner John Rand when he asked you about the finances, both personal and otherwise, of Dr. Walter Rodney, and the fact that there was not a constant flow of funds, and actually he would have gone to do his lecturing that would supplement his income, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Then I want you now to read, I'm going to item number 4 of the Reverend Smith book. We are still on page 25. We are on the penultimate paragraph starting with Dr. Rodney told me. Could you read that into the record? The first 4 lines. So read the whole one.
Dr. Rodney told me to offer money to people at Maritime Command for arms and ammunition. He was willing to pay a maximum of $20,000.
No, what type of dollars?
20,000 US dollars, depending on the amount and type of arms supplied. He wanted arms and was willing to pay for them. Such a person, he said, could choose among of the following countries to collect their payment at a moment's notice any of the English-speaking Caribbean islands, the United States, Canada, or England.
No, madam. Well, this is 20,000 US dollars in 1980. Could you recall what was the rate of exchange of the US dollar and the Ghanaian dollar in 1980?
No.
But it was a high rate.
A high rate, yes.
Did you know, you said you were the accountant, did you know that Dr. Rodney had at his disposal in 1979-80 $20,000 US dollars?
Not in our personal account. I never saw that much money.
And contacted any of the English-speaking Caribbean islands, United States and Canada, or England?
No, I don't know.
So what is your response then to this scheme?
Again, I would say it's false.
False. That's number 4. Mr. Chairman, in those circumstances, ma'am, would you not say that the assertions in this book and the specific items that I have relayed to you and you have read for yourself are really unmitigated untruth?
I said they're untruth, and it's to character assassination of my husband.
I have one other example to give, and I want to paraphrase it. This is, unless you want me to be specific, Mr. Chairman, this is Dr. Rodney's involvement in some detonator, to detonate some item, to detonate a device to block a prison or part of a prison. The Dr. Walter Rodney that you knew, would he be involved in detonators and blowing up prisons?
No.
So what would you say of that assertion made in this book?
I again would say it's false.
I'd like to move on to the morning of the...
Of course, before you move on, Dr. Rodney asked, weren't you curious to see what Smith had said when you asked him?
No, I think I read page 1. The language is so childish, and I wasn't interested in it because I knew it would be anything of substance. I read a lot, and I really didn't have time for investment.
Even with your speed reading ability.
I choose the books I read.
Can I take you to page 17 of your witness statement under the heading Days After Saturday, 14 June 1918? Could you read the first 2 lines on that heading?
Which page?
Page 17.
The first 2 lines.
Under the heading Days After Saturday, 14 June.
On Saturday morning, June 14, 1980, we discovered a number of pamphlets dropped outside of her home. It was a single page that stated that the body of an unidentified man had been discovered.
Pause. Around what time? Well, firstly, when you say we discovered a number of pamphlets, did you yourself see that pamphlet?
Yes, sir.
And you read that pamphlet?
Yes, sir.
Around what time did you see first? At what time did you first see that pamphlet on the morning of Saturday, 14th to 19th?
Around 6 a.m.
Around 6 a.m. It means then that when you estimate that pamphlet has been dropped?
Early, I presume, before 6.
Before 6. Having read the pamphlet and from what you will have learned in 1940 or reads, who did you conclude the unidentified man in the pamphlet referred to?
I wasn't sure because Walter's body was identifiable.
I understand that. But who did you think the pamphlet had? I understand the reality. let's deal with the
Water.
it referred.
To water.
So the pamphlet said that it was unidentified, but Dr. Walter Rodney's body was identified, correct?
Yes.
But that was not the only pamphlet that you have seen that morning.
No.
You saw another pamphlet.
Yes, sir.
Madam, I would like to place a document in your hand, and if you can recall if this document represented the true contents of a pamphlet that you saw on the morning of the 14th of June.
Be outside the picture.
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Mr. Chairman and other commissioners, it is in record on the day, Tuesday, 1st of July 2014, page 91, lines 8 counting from the bottom. It's already read into evidence by the witness, Dr. Westmont. And I'm grateful to the Commission's attorneys for assisting me in getting the exact transcript.
Just before you show her the document, in relation to the first pamphlet, at the time and since after these many years, has there been any report of any other explosion on Friday, 13th of 1980, in relation to which any other person, apart from your husband, was the person who died?
No, ma'am.
So the pamphlet you are referring to refers to a death on the 13th.
On the 13th.
But your husband was the only person.
Only person that I knew of.
Thank you. Thank you.
Much of that. Ma'am, do you see that document there? Do you recognize that document? The contents of the document? Citizens. No, it was just read into record. I have the copies of the transcript.
Yes.
Tell us, was that the contents of the document on the pamphlet that you saw, other pamphlet that you saw on the morning of the 14th of June 1980?
Yes.
And could you read into the record the contents of that document that was shown, that was put by your house that morning?
Do you want to give that
Want me to read it?
I want to read it.
Just before that,
That's that.
I thought reference is being to standard being and one record at page 91.
It is the record of Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2014, evidence of Dr. Westmore's, page 91, lines 8 counting from the bottom.
Was it read into evidence about this?
It was read into evidence, Mr. Chairman. I can share.
So you want us to do that again?
Yes, please. The document that she saw in the morning. Dr. Westmore didn't see it on the morning. It's very important, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the distinction is Dr. Westmore was a chronicler, but he didn't see the document on the morning. Dr. Patricia Rodney saw this as one of the 2 pamphlets on the morning at 6 o'clock. It goes to 2 of reference 1 and 2 of the Commission of Inquiry. That's my respectful submission.
Mr. Scotland, maybe just spare her.
Oh, I thought that really should be.
I agree.
Go now.
Madam, did the document read Hickory Dickory Dock?
No, you're skipping.
Sorry, towards Hickory Dickory Dock. Appointment at 8 o'clock. We won't need no bail. We done with the jail. When we done with the jail. And this walkie-talkie start talk. Rockabye Rodney now lives in the past. Dispatched to his master so quick and so fast. It was never the intention that his fiendish invention would choose his own luck for the blast. And below text of pamphlet that began circulating in the streets of Georgetown early in the morning of Saturday, June 14, 1980, the lines parodied the children's nonsense rhyme, Hickory Dickory.
Yes.
Was that the document that the pamphlet form that you saw?
Yes, sir.
And would you need to take a break? Around what time did this pamphlet arrive? Same time as the other one?
Yes, they were there at 6 o'clock in the morning, both pamphlets.
She was going at the break. She
I know,
said,
yes.
What time you saw it?
it,
Around
yes.
6 in the morning?
Yes.
But what happened, I want to go back to the first pamphlet, the one that speaks of the unidentified body. At that time, however, at the time of the explosion, Donald Rodney was in the car.
Yes, sir.
And he would have gone, he would have gone to others and told them what had transpired with Dr. Walter Rodney.
Yes, sir.
Why you say he would have gone? It's past perfect tense.
He had gone.
No, but you were a large number of educated people, professionals, speak nowadays like that. I don't know how it came about.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I will go back to
There's no speak of something happened. It would have happened. When it would have happened,